in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and proceed with the program. So if you all just bear with me, still enjoy your meals and all. But so this evening, for everyone who hasn't had the opportunity to join us a little earlier, I am Morena Bay. I'm the acting chair of MVI's Board of Directors. So it's a pleasure again for you all to be able to join us for the 2022 Annual Dinner and Community Awards Ceremony. We welcome those that are present but also online with us, so we thank you for joining us. Before we get started with the awards, we would like to recognize individuals, my colleagues that serve on the board with me. So in the interest of time, if all my fellow board members that serve on MVI's board could stand to be honored and recognized for your efforts. Thank you. Thank you very much for your service. I enjoy serving on the board with you all. I also want to recognize the Mon Valley Initiative's various committees of the board. Or those committees involve the Governance Committee, the Community Investment Fund, the Audit Committee, our Regional Development Committee, and our Workforce Advisory Committee. These committees are crucial in the success of the work that MVI does. No matter how big or small, we couldn't be able to accomplish these projects without all these individuals giving of your time and their expertise, so we thank you. So if I can get all the board member, committee members to stand and be recognized for your service. Thank you all. Again, a pleasure to serve with each and every one of you. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium our notorious singer, who is, this is not written, but Laura is just the best, and I think that everyone that knows her can contest to that. She is dedicated, smart, as one of the smartest people I know, and just really committed to the Valley and seeing it thrive, and just has a vision for what the Valley can be. And so I'm honored to serve on the board for her and welcome her to the podium. Laura.
Thank you, Brady. The feeling is mutual, and it is just such an honor and privilege to get to work for MVI and to have so many great people who volunteer for us. And so my duty right now is to give a little recognition to 3 folks who are transitioning off the board or off of committees. Either their terms are up or they're retired and finding other things to do, and tired of calling me up and bothering them. But Joe Flynn is a longtime member of our board, and he's stepping down. He got involved with MVI probably about 18 years ago when he worked at Great American Federal Bank, and has worked in different lending capacities and just brought so much expertise and just a really great knowledge and support, and just has been a fantastic board member. So we just wish him well and are just grateful for his time and energy. The other individual is Charles Peterson. You guys, a lot of you know, he also has been in banking for many years and retired. So we're having to let him go as well. He's been serving on our Community Investment Fund Committee, and we really just appreciate his knowledge and his love of community development, which was evident as he retired from the bank 12 years back. So, and then last but not least is Rick Savito. So I know a lot of people, if you know Rick Savito, raise your hand. Yeah, a lot of people know Rick Savito. And he's been retired for a couple of years, but he hung in there. He said, I'm not going to stay on a lot of these boards and committees, but I'll hang in there with MVI. He served on our Community Investment Fund Committee for many years, and most recently on our Audit Committee. And he's actually a past Heinz Award winner from his time at Mellon Bank. Rick Savito took a risk actually lending money to this organization to our member groups back in the 90s, when not a lot of people were lending money to anybody in the Mon Valley, and he really helped this organization develop a real estate program that is strong and has done some pretty amazing things in the last 30 years. So we're just really grateful to all of them. They could not be here tonight, but I know they're watching probably from home, so we just want to give them a round of
start. All right, so thank you all again. Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome our MC for tonight, for this evening. He is someone who you all will know. His introductions, who will need no introduction to many of you, because you all know him. Tony Norman, I had the pleasure of meeting Tony while we were sitting at the table, so I'm very impressed and I'm excited to be able to introduce him. Tony Norman is an award-winning columnist, reporter who recently completed a 34-year career at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. His coverage has included pop music, politics, and we didn't speak any politics tonight, so. and people from all walks of life. He also has written editorials and book reviews. Just as importantly, he has been a mentor to several generations of young reporters in the Pittsburgh area, both while at the Post-Gazette and while teaching journalism at Chatham University. Recently, he started a new role with the Next Pittsburgh website, where he is writing a weekly column and hosting a podcast, which will launch in January. He is an alumni of Calvin College, and for some of you, he is a neighbor who lives in Swiss Elm Park. He is incredibly busy getting ready to debut his podcast, so we're very grateful that he was able to make some time for us this evening. Please join me in welcoming Tony Norman.
Thanks for that introduction, and it's good to be here with you good folks. I really should know more about what's happening in the Mon Valley, but for what I've been learning tonight, I'm completely impressed by the spirit of your various organizations and your willingness to come together in such a tight collective, working for for the benefit of all in this community. It's that community spirit that really inspires me. And before I get into reading this very elaborate script that you guys put together for me, I just want to remember that my old colleagues at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette are really having difficulty right now. There's a strike. The reporters have gone on strike with the other guilds. So the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is in a situation right now where half of the guild members have decided that they are not going to honor the picket line. So that introduces another element, dispiriting element to this strike. So if you can remember and support the reporters who are fighting for dignity, who are fighting for a living wage after 15 years without a contract, which is outrageous. Remember the folks at the Post-Gazette. Also remember and have good thoughts for Lisa Cunningham, who is formerly the editor of Pittsburgh City Paper. She quit yesterday after insisting that the paper that owns Pittsburgh City Paper, the Butler Eagle, allow Pittsburgh City Paper to report that they've been printing the scab editions of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And so she had to quit her job after 25 years because they would not allow her to report a fact. So we're living in very, very apocalyptic times in Western Pennsylvania when it comes to local media. So don't take anything for granted, because any newspaper can be taken from you at any second by folks who only care about the bottom line, and that's the honest to God truth. So without further ado, without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Chief Operating Officer of Mon Valley Initiative to the podium, Joey Lynn Ulrich, who will be presenting the first award. Joey Lynn.
Valley Initiative presents the Senator H. John Heinz Award for Community Service to a person whose service to the Mon Valley area has gone above and beyond. Tonight's honoree, Mary Phan-Gruber, recently retired from serving as the founder and CEO of the Jefferson Regional Foundation. She has been a tremendous convener and collaborator, a personal mentor of mine, and she brings great diversity of people together in organizations to learn from one another. She has shed light on important issues in the Mon Valley and the South Hills area. If you could look now at the screen, let's learn and talk a little bit more with Mary.
I'm Mary Phan-Gruber. I'm the CEO of Jefferson Regional Foundation. The foundation was created when Jefferson Hospital became part of Allegheny Health Network.
I'm Mary Phan-Gruber. I'm the CEO of Jefferson Regional Foundation. The foundation was created when Jefferson Hospital became part of Allegheny Health Network, was funded in that process. And so we have a mission to do community grant making, education and outreach, and we've been able to distribute over $19 million in grants to nonprofit and civic groups in this area that Jefferson has traditionally served. So because of our legacy, we are a health-focused foundation, but that's a very broad community health focus. So we don't fund health care, but we fund a variety of priorities that relate to that. So everything from diversity, equity, and inclusion to workforce, civic engagement, early childhood, children and youth, capacity building, health and wellness. The foundation has always really tried to understand community needs in a variety of ways. So we have a collaborative that has over 100 members, nonprofits in the area, including MVI, for example, a lot of those partners who are on the ground understanding what they're hearing. We've also done activities like Around the Table South, which was a community conversation with 1,000 people. And we try to, we have a board that is representative of the community, so they're very close. They are residents, some of them work in the community as well and have businesses. So there's a lot of input that is part of that process. So the social determinants of health are very important and a focus of what we do. And it really is built on the idea that where people live, work, and play has a big influence on their health. If someone lives in certain communities, the mortality rates actually vary wildly. So where you live may have a bigger impact on your health than your genes. We look at all the aspects of the neighborhoods that people live in, how healthy those are, the air that they breathe, the access that they have to safe places to live and work and play. Equity is a really huge part of the social determinants of health because there are existing disparities and inequities that we know are there that have to be addressed just for people to be able to access services or be aware of services or receive programming at the same levels. All of us have to be much more aware of and make extra efforts to be inclusive, to listen to community voices, to find new strategies and outreach to partner with groups who don't receive as many resources as we have. So we've really made, and our board has made, an extra effort to look for those kinds of groups, partner with them, fund them, support them, and increasingly we've seen that growth in our collaborative as well. Workforce is a big piece of our, increasingly, of our work, and MVI has been a big partner in that work. Increasingly, we've seen that workforce is an incredible part of someone's health and a family's health. Being a social worker has meant that I've been able to engage in a variety of career moves, exciting things, but my work has really been focused on the nonprofit sector throughout my career. It's been tremendously exciting to come to Jefferson for the last part of my career before I retire and really build out the possibilities here for these communities and really build the identity here. Jefferson Regional Foundation's been able to grow because we've had a supportive board. We have always emphasized the other parts of funding. So as a foundation, people sometimes think first of the money and the dollars and the financial support, but we have always also emphasized the other ways that we can build capacity, build skill in the community, gather and convene organizations. Some things that are takeaways for the Mon Valley are just the sense of pride that people have in the Mon Valley, and the sense of deep history there that is a little different from other parts of the community. There's also certainly a sense of being ignored sometimes, and viewed as not necessarily an asset. There are tremendous assets in the Mon Valley that are yet to be really built on and explored, and I think the future is very bright for the Mon Valley. Retirement is always a little bittersweet when you're leaving an organization that you think is so impactful and has such opportunity, but that's also the sweet part of it, is that leaving while there's a lot of things to look forward to. I'm really excited about being able to do the next part of my journey, and I think this organization will continue to thrive. There's a great staff and a great team and a great board and great new offices. I'm very excited about our successor, Tricia Gadsden, who has wonderful roots in the Mon Valley, and her family has long-time roots in the Mon Valley, and particularly in McKeesport. Dr. Gadsden has a history of also being really close to community, of listening to a variety of voices and making all that count. She will continue that legacy. I'd like to be sure to shout out to MVI, to Laura, to Joey Lynn, to the team. MVI has been a fabulous partner for Jefferson Regional Foundation increasingly over the years, and will continue to be. I was surprised and very, very pleased to have this award presented. So I'm so pleased that this is part of my how I'm finishing out my time at Jefferson Regional Foundation. It's very fitting. At Jefferson, we couldn't have done the things we've done without our board, our tremendous staff, all of our tremendous partners and grantees. The secret of the foundation word.
So speaking of being inspired, I can speak for myself and many colleagues in the nonprofit sector that have been inspired by you, Mary. I would love for you to come up and accept this award. It is truly an honor, and it gives me great joy to present this year's Heinz Award to Mary Phan-Gruber.
Tromping over the script, sorry. So I'm Laura Zinsky again, and I am in charge of the Regional Partnership Award announcement tonight. And it is given every year to an organization that has made a commitment to working with or in coordination with MVI on a program, project, or issue. And this year we are very excited to give the award to the Braddock Carnegie Library Association. Talking about great assets in the Mon Valley, the library is so fantastic, and at its helm, Vicki Bargo, she started in the job as executive director around the same time I started at MVI, so we are like old school sisters in Braddock and North Braddock. She's a resident of North Braddock, on council in North Braddock. She just gives and gives and gives. So we are just so happy to be a partner. MVI worked with the library on our very first NPP, which is a neighborhood partnership program, And it was a 6-year journey together in Braddock, and we just started another 6-year journey together for North Braddock with the library as the pivotal partner in that role. So we will also roll the video and hear from Vicki herself.
I'm Vicki Vargo, and I'm Executive Director. I'm Vicki Vargo, and I'm Executive Director of the Braddock Carnegie Library Association. As a small child, I would say that building was very intimidating. It was huge. It didn't look the way it does now. It was very dirty, years and years of soot on the building. Probably the better half of the 20th century were good years, and then around the late 50s, 60s, and 70s, things all over started to deteriorate. Times were changing, and shortly after the Braddock School District took over the Braddock Carnegie Library and eventually closed the building in 1974. It sat vacant. It was not cared for. Nobody made sure that people weren't breaking in, so it was vandalized. It was subject to the elements. It just very much suffered from neglect. But we were very fortunate that the last librarian who worked there, David Solomon, would not let the building die. He bought it from the school district for $1, started a nonprofit, and started raising money. David's focus was to open the library for the children. And then we gradually joined the Allegheny County Library Association. We're able to exchange materials with other libraries. Have some computer systems. The building's approximately 45,000 square feet, and only half of it was usable. The renovations we're doing now will make it 100% usable and accessible. Our service area is Braddock, North Braddock, East Pittsburgh, Turtle Creek, and Chalfont. The majority of our patrons, I would say, come from Braddock, North Braddock, and East Pittsburgh. We do operate a satellite location in Turtle Creek out of the Human Services Center. In addition to books and DVDs, probably the biggest thing that we've seen, especially since COVID, are faxing and printing and copying services. Other things that they're looking for, we have an alternative lending collection. That includes artwork, and then after that we started expanding the items that we would let people borrow, including tables and chairs, tents, coolers. So those items are big borrow items. We do have limited tools. We have some outdoor weed whacking and trimmers and blowers and things. There are multiple partnerships, primarily I believe it all started with like Braddock Youth Project, the Woodland Hills School District, Propel Schools, and then expanding beyond that to places like Greater Valley Community Services, Heritage Out of School Time, Gwen's Girls. They're not just places within our service area. It's what makes sense. How can we support your programs or what you do with what we offer? I think it has to be just like a good relationship. Both parties have to benefit from it and see it as an asset, or it's not going to work. We were fortunate Eden Hall Foundation funded a building master plan. We were seeking funds to do another piecemeal project, and one of the funders, Eden Hall, came back and said, you need to do this whole building once and for all. From there, after we did the building master plan, it was just boom, boom, boom. Things kept going. We did the pre-construction drawings and everything, and we kept working on the capital campaign, and was very surprised, very scared when the architects and everybody said it's time to start. And we did that May 2nd this year. Target date right now, barring any setbacks is 2024, mid-2024. We still have probably the entire cost of phase 2, which is about $5 million to raise. First of all, we're very grateful to Mon Valley Initiative for inviting us to be a partner. You know, we had looked at the NPP ourselves, but you know, that's a huge undertaking. So we very much appreciate MVI is considering us as a partner. The reason we got involved is because of MVI's track record, knowing that they would be applying for these funds and it would be a benefit to our communities. You know, doing a capital campaign is a learning experience, and I don't care how many classes you go to, you just don't know until you actually do it. And every time I turned around, there was another, well, you need to have this consultant or that consultant. We haven't been back in the building since COVID. We were back briefly, and it was just very limited services. This was the first year that we have been able to do programs. So we are renting a property from MVI on Braddock Avenue. And it's really been a change of scenery for us, and it's a smaller space, so you know, we can't do all the things we did before, but we can definitely do copying and printing, and people can use computers, and they can still take out materials. You know, when you hear the word library, some people think, that's books, I'm just not interested, or, you know, but looking at what is a library? What does a library do, and how has it changed over the years? You know, I've been here 21 years, and I've seen so many changes. I've seen so many people come through the library, and gladly I've seen them come back now as parents. But it's amazing to say, yeah, geez, I remember you. So knowing that people still value the library, not only as a resource, but as a social center. So a library is truly a community center, and I think when Carnegie built that library, he wanted to address all those things. He wanted people to have the opportunity to learn. He wanted them to be physically fit, meet the needs of the community, talk to them, find out what kind of programs they want, what kind of services. It's like that nebby neighbor, you know? Pittsburgh has nebby neighbors. And
so, to my favorite nebby neighbor, come on.
Any more time, but you know, a relationship is based on who you have that relationship with, and you know, you have to choose wisely. And the reason that we are partnering with MVI is because they include the human element in their renovation process, and without that, it's just a band-aid on the problem. You know, you can fix all the buildings you want, but if you don't address the human need like they do and bring in partners like us, then we don't have a future. So thank you, MVI.
All right, this is what I mean about the Mon Valley. The thing that's really evident just to an outsider like me, the spirit that you folks have. What Vicki is doing there at the Braddock Library is incredible. You know, I was last there, you know, pre-COVID. You know, I used to go there for lectures by photographers and authors and various folks in like a little area that they have there. And it was like really cool, you know, to go to Braddock for something like that. that there was this intellectual culture that folks don't even think about that's there because of this great library. And when it eventually opens, you realize it's going to be arguably the most cutting-edge library in Pittsburgh, in the area. That's an amazing thing. And it's something that we can't take for granted or sleep on. So congratulations, Vicki. Thank you for your wonderful service. And what MVI, congratulations to you folks too, for having the vision to invest in something like this. So thank you. So next, I'd like to introduce Charles Howell, MVI's Director of Workforce Development and Financial Coaching, who is going to present MVI's Employer of the Year. Charles?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. So the Employer of the Year Award is given to the employer that has made a commitment to working in coordination with the Mon Valley Initiative to help individuals find meaningful work to achieve financial stability and independence. I have the privilege this evening of knowing our honoree for several years. We go back to several previous lives. But he's an example of what success looks like in the human service field. He's honest, he's empathetic, he's compassionate. He's the kind of partner that we look for in the workforce team. And so these qualities and these characteristics allow him to push for the best in the individuals that we send his way for not just employment, but for life opportunities. And so we're so pleased to partner with him in the University of Pittsburgh. We're proud to honor Roland Woods with the Community Engagement Center of the University of Pittsburgh, and here to tell his own story, please.
My name is Roland Woods, and I work for the University of Pittsburgh Office of Human Resources. I oversee a pilot program which focuses on underrepresented communities such as the Hill, Hazelwood, Homewood, and Oakland. Yeah, I have this passion to work with individuals and help individuals in the workforce, and over the years I've accumulated a wealth of knowledge and skills where I'm able to thrive and give back and help people with resumes and cover letters and negotiating skills. Obviously, we have a lot of positions to fill. We're one of the largest employers in Western Pennsylvania besides UPMC. And we have a lot of positions that we need to fill. And we feel like there's parts of different communities that are seeking gainful employment. And we want to make sure that they're aware that we're just not an educational institution, but we also hire people. You know, the whole premise of connecting and attempting to hire people from the community is because these communities surround the University of Pittsburgh, and we want to maintain a fantastic relationship with the community. And why not help individuals who might not know that employment opportunities exist at the University of Pittsburgh, as opposed to it being just an academic institution some people know it for. Some people, unfortunately, they don't have consistent child care, therefore they can't maintain a stable job. And in other instances, there's an individual who might have been just recently discharged from incarceration, and they are looking for gainful employment, and because of their criminal background, there's some restrictions as to the places they can and cannot work. Charles Howell, Dr. Charles Howell, and I used to work at Mount Airy Baptist Church. I reached out to him because I knew that he was a community partner, and I just wanted to inform him that the University of Pittsburgh was offering a program that will benefit individuals in underrepresented communities. And I know that that's the kind of work that he does on a regular basis, and I wanted to see if we could collaborate. Mon Valley Initiative has a reputable reputation of serving the community of the Mon Valley. How many individuals that they've helped in various capacities with with resources to help individuals become successful. I'm an advocate for teaching whatever I know, and in this case, because this is workforce development, I'll put a little more emphasis on how to get employed and how to stay employed. Okay, I do information session with Mon Valley, and I share the do's and don'ts of employment. I share, that background question, that band of box. I share, what does a cover letter look like, a resume. And I would highly recommend that, organizations would give institutions such as Mon Valley Initiative the opportunity to join forces or collaborate, because there is programming, there is the kind of leadership that exists that, if connected, there could be brighter opportunities for individuals in the community. Job seeking is similar to relationships. Not everybody's going to like you, right? And it's okay, but someone's going to give you an opportunity. So you got to make sure that your resume is professionally written. And then we got to talk about your interviewing skills, because if you're not getting if you're not getting calls, you're not getting interviews, it could very well be just you. Not that you're a bad human being, but you just got to brush up on your mock interview questions. And so I'm working with individuals whom, as I said before, might not have daycare, providing resources for them so they can have possibly adequate daycare, and they then we can revisit a conversation at a later time about employment at Pitt. So now there's some stability. So we embrace equity, diversity, inclusion. We treat everybody the same, with fairness, with respect and dignity. And we understand the complexities of the world we live in. This program works. And what I mean by that is we have successfully hired up almost 40 people in a little over 1 year calendar in different jobs, from research to cleaning to admin positions, to positions where a person might even be an advisor. Kurt Holbrook used to be the director here at the Community Engagement Center in the Hill District. I definitely would like to thank him for his collaboration. I would also like to give a shout out to Darren Ellerby, who used to be the director for the CEC in Homewood as well. I'm thankful for her embracing my presence when I first started a little over a year ago. But also my boss, Lisa Garland, who is the director for Office of Human Resources, for giving me an opportunity, a chance to show that I have the leadership skills, I have the background and workforce development to make a difference in the lives of people who live in Hazelwood, Homewood, Hill, and Oakland.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and brother, our community employer partner, Mr. Roland Woods.
All right, Roland's very impressive. You meet an impressive person, you feel that electricity, that charisma, and you realize why things are getting done. Someone is single-minded and, doing their job and trying to help other people. There's something to be said. That's what helps our species go forward. That puts the hum in humanity. Have someone like Roland out there encouraging people. So thank you, brother. What you're doing out there is incredible. And now we will be presenting this year's Community Partner Awards. These winners were selected by community members across the Mon Valley region, some from local community development corporations, others from the general public. The awards are presented to groups and individuals who embody the MVI vision of working together to unite the communities of the Mon Valley and restore their economic vitality. This year, we will be showing each awardee's video interview on the screen. Then each of the recipients will come to the stage to receive their awards and a proclamation from their elected officials. Awardees and presenters Following the award, please remain to the side of the podium for a picture. All right, turn page. I would be completely hopeless without this. Our first award is being presented on behalf of Swissvale Economic Development Corporation to Mayor Janine Swartzvelde. See, I was paying attention. And friends. Janine.
Hi, I'm Janine Swartzwelder. I am the mayor of Swissvale for 17 years. I didn't like the way the town was going, and I decided that it was time to throw my hat in. When I was 13 years old, my father ran for mayor of Swissvale, and he lost by 30 votes or so, and that was my 12-year-old wish to become mayor of Swissvale. I've lived here for 57 years. My whole family lives in Swissvale, from my grandparents to aunts and uncles, cousins, my mother, my brothers and sisters, and my children have bought houses in Swissvale. My nieces and nephews live in Swissvale, and all my best friends live here. So it's important for me to keep Swissvale as a stable community where we can live, work, play, and enjoy life.
Even before she became mayor, the Halloween parade has been running for 29 years. This will be our 29th, and even over COVID, we did it without a miss. It's not just because she's mayor that she does these things. All of us try to figure out how she does these things.
Well, amongst all those, then we plan community days, we plan Halloween parade, Night of Lights, which is our night, our December light up night, Easter egg hunt, parkway planting. We plant flowers around town, and we just kind of maintain everything all the fun stuff that goes on in Swissvale.
I don't do it alone, and that's what has to be recognized. If I was alone, I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Anytime I ask them to do something, or if we just sit down with an idea and I say, okay, I'm thinking we can do this, then everyone comes up with a plan and we just implement it and see it from the beginning to end. And
We get volunteers from different community groups because the events we do are great and people have a lot of fun and people want to be in a community that serves everyone. Sometimes we get our best volunteer will just pop up out of the blue and we've never met them before, and they're the hardest worker for that day. They might not come back for a year or two, but when they're there, they're wholeheartedly there. So we do have some really great volunteers that just come by just because they heard about it.
And that's what Swissvale's all about. We have roots. Swissvale has roots, and we have a lot of new people, which I love, but we don't forget where we came from and our roots.
we are redoing a parklet on a corner of Braddock and Church Street, and maintaining what we have already started is enough, because we are busy every month of the year, and we just try to maintain what we've already have implemented. I just, a safe community, a clean community, a community that offers all kind of the amenities and something to do at night, events that we plan, and just to stick around Swissvale and have fun with it. I think Swissvale is very affordable, and we have the perfect location. I say we are the center of the universe. That is my That's my mantra. Swissvale is the center of the universe. We are close to everything, 7 minutes from downtown, 7 minutes from Monroeville, 6 minutes from the waterfront, and yeah, we have it all.
We said, she's the one that we need to recognize. We help her because we love her and we love our town, but she's the one who does the grunt work.
Swissvale, we love Swissvale. That's our t-shirts, that is what we live by. It's a great place to live. And thank you all for helping me do great things in Swissvale.
All right. To present its 2022 Community Partner of the Year Award, please welcome Mary Miller of Swissvale Economic Development Corporation.
Well, Swissvale would be nothing without our mayor, Deneen. She is the heart and soul of everything Swissvale. And, everybody loves what she does, and she has a way to just bring the community together and build everyone up. So we love her. Come on up and get your award.
Just real quick, that table over there, those are the mayor's minions. Thank you for making Swissvale what it is. Without you, I wouldn't be up here.
All right. And now, Braddock Economic Development Corporation would like to congratulate its 2022 Community Partner Award winner, Joel Olszewski.
My name is John Olszewski, and I am the plant manager at Edgar Thomson plant. I started at Edgar Thomson. I was a quality engineer. I graduated with a metallurgical engineering degree from the University of Pittsburgh. I grew up 12, 15 miles from here in Irwin, PA. Born and raised, spent my first 15 years here in the Mon Valley, and then transferred numerous times, all within U.S. Steel, and then back in 2020, I was transferred back to ET as the plant manager. I think it's synonymous with Pittsburgh. Even the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? The emblem is the steel emblem that they copied and got from there. But I think it was born and bred into that blue collar worker ethic. That's how the football team was remembered, and I think that's how the steel workers then and now are still a part of that rich tradition. When you first started in school, they send you to the different classes and everything. Obviously math, chemistry was very good, and it just worked out that that's what I really liked, when you had a little sample of everything. And then once you started into the classes, it was very interesting. And I worked as a summer intern actually here at Edgar Thomson. I was very awestruck at the massive size of the equipment. Everybody in their flame retardant clothing, aluminized jackets to keep any type of sparks or steel off of them. So it was very, very surreal, a little bit of intimidating till you can do that. And when people, when you first start, right, I'm a 22-year-old young man, and people have been there 20, 30, 40 years, and they were really engaging. And as long as you wanted to learn, they would take you under their wing. They would teach you everything that they knew. So it was very, very nice to see that. You think you're pretty smart coming out of school, you have a college degree, but when you start working in here, there's nothing more than the valued experience of learning from those people. Go back 100 years, right? Why was Braddock first built? You know, when Andrew Carnegie built the plant, you know, people didn't have cars, right? They lived close to where they could work, and they walked here. You know, we still want the people within the community to be part of our workforce. When we say best for all, that is just not for U.S. Steel, the company and the stockholders. It's within the communities that we live in. And so, you know, as we go up, we want to be a partner with those people we live in. We're trying to hire more people within the community. U.S. Steel, we're hiring, we're part of the community. Come on down here and see what we have to offer. I think it just creates that bond between both the community and the company. I'm really not the flashy person or talk a lot, but I was really touched by the nomination from Bedco and the Mon Valley Initiative. I just think that it recognizes you know, the entire plant, because, you know, we're more than just one or two people here. You know, we've got 755 people here at the plant, and we've all, in one way or another, gone out and volunteered on Earth Day, cleaning up different things. We've gone to the ball field and cut the grass and pulled weeds and different things. So I really think that you know, the plan as a whole is just part of the community, and really appreciate the community recognizing us for that. Colleen Davis, who's our environmental engineer here, she's a member of that team. And you know, they work hand in hand with the projects they bring to the project. She's I don't even know what board member, but a member of that team. When they bring ideas together and what we can help with and be a participating member of it, I think that works very well for us. U.S. Steel has been here for, you know, since 1875, and we're a part of the community, and we want to be a good partner and a good neighbor. All the community leaders that have been part of the CAP have been very great. From the U.S. Steel side, Colleen Davis has been the face of all that interaction, and her and Beata Harold, which is our administrative assistant for the plant, those two really drive everything for us and plan everything, organize everything. So those two for us, for U.S. Steel, have been great. You know, when we first started meeting, right, it was very, very quiet and everything. Now it's not just you know, U.S. Steel putting a presentation and telling people what it's going to do. There's open dialogue that goes back and forth, and I think we've become much more productive. The plan as a whole is just part of the community, and really appreciate the community recognizing us for that.
Here now to hand out the award for Bedco is Tina Dustad. Tina.
Thank you so much, Tony, and congratulations, John, for your support of Braddock Economic Development Corporation's community initiative and mission. We appreciate U.S. Steel and your presence in our community as the largest employer in the Braddock community. We just, all that you've done for the community over the last few years means so much to us. So I say congratulations, John.
Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Downtown West Newton Incorporated is pleased to present its 2022 Community Partner Award to Mantle House Mission.
My name is Marcy Ellsbury, and I am the founder and executive director of the Mantle House Mission. The main mission of the Mantle House is to house and assist and support homeless women ages 18 and up. My husband and I took in a 19-year-old young man who was in need of housing and a lot of other things, such as life skills, back in 2010. I was aware of 5 to 6 homeless youth in the York School District at that time. And so they're around, and they're all around our neighborhoods. We just don't realize it. They're what we call couch surfing on neighbors and friends' couches until that mom and dad gets tired of them, and then they go from the next place. Well, a lot of it really stems from childhood injuries, meaning not just physical, but emotional, sexual abuse, and things like that. And that's very unfortunate, and lack of support. And the Lord just spoke to us to start a transitional home, in which we didn't even really know what that was. So we just got to work. Our 10-year anniversary is this year, and it's been a very successful run. The mantle is the handing down of the blessing of the Lord, of carrying forth the leadership role of Christianity and the teachings of discipleship. And so the main goal is to teach young adults, all adults 18 and up, to learn about Jesus and what the Bible and the Word of God is and what it means and how they can apply that to their life. We had started out with a board of directors, and then we realized we needed funding for this, so we set out to start selling things, and we ended up in the Laurel Mall, and we did that for about 3 months. The place that we are at now is at 132 South Water Street. We started housing in 2014, and we started housing young men and taught them life skills, independent living skills, along with sit-down textbook, biblical discipleship, and then they also learned skills such as construction, yard work, landscaping, as well as cooking and different things around the house. Cleaning and things like that. We get phone calls from all around. We get phone calls from case management. We've gotten phone calls from mostly relatives is where we get the phone calls from. Mostly themselves, but we've gotten them from employers also. Sometimes they just need a little bit of help, maybe just for a week, maybe just for a month, maybe for a short period of time, but they can stay here for as long as they like to get their feet back on the ground. Currently, right now, as I stated, we are housing 18 and up females only now. And we're excited to say that we are expanding our rooms now. We have a house that we've been housing in since 2014 with 2 bedrooms, and we have had up to 4 or 5 girls in that house at the time. We are expanding that into the new building in the store building up above, where we're going to have housing units there. And we are going to hopefully have 3 done by the end of the year. My husband, Ron, renovates them. He does most of the work. We have had lots of volunteers throughout the years, and different churches and organizations come and help us to do different things, work on the houses, work on rooms, and work on the stores and things like that. And we are really appreciative of their support. The community's been wonderful. Our Mayor Mary has been wonderful and supportive of the mission. We have a dinner twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall, and that is sponsored by Gary's Chuck Wagon here in West Newton. We have the resale store where we have donated items, and people are very generous to donate wonderful things for us to resell so that we can afford to house our ladies. It does help pay for rent and the utilities and anything else, whether gas, to run them around. But the support that we've received has been wonderful. We've always wanted to make a very wonderful presence in West Newton. We've been here now 10 years. My children grew up here. We raised 2 daughters here, and the York School District is a wonderful school district. This is a wonderful place to raise a family. Our customers are just the best. What we do see is a lot of growth in West Newton. We are probably the first people to see the newest couple and the newest family to walk in, and because they're buying things for their new home. And so we all work together in the West Newton area as business owners to support each other and lift each other up for support and business.
Here to hand out the award for the Downtown West Newton Incorporated is Barb LaFace.
This is a wonderful opportunity to extend our appreciation, especially to one of West Newton's small business owners and a good friend, Marcy Ellsbury. They do say if you need something done, ask a busy person, and Marcy certainly is one of the busiest. We feel that she and Ron have been a vital part of our community. And just a small example of her generosity, just a few weeks ago, Marcy opened her heart and prepared a meal and invited the West Newton residents to join in the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Mantle House Mission. Marcy commented with the last minute concerns, and we all done this, I hope people show up. And as she always says, I'll just pray to the good Lord. Marcy, I say have no fear. The good Lord has your back. And she had a wonderful turnout, and everyone enjoyed themselves. As the representative of DWNI, we extend our appreciation to all that you do for your community. And please join me at this time so I may present you your Community Partner Award. Thank you and congratulations.
Very honored to be a part of this, and we thank you very much, Mon Valley Initiative, Downtown West Newton, and really couldn't do this without this gentleman right here. It's a great partnership.
Turtle Creek Development Corporation is pleased to present the next Community Partner Award to Red Lantern Bike Shop.
I'm Maria Cruz Sink.
I am Brian Sink, and we are the head of the Red Lantern Bike Shop.
So we are a nonprofit organization that works with bicycles. We connect people to bicycles. So every year we do these small little kid bike giveaways. So, you know, like bicycles that have training wheels, that kind of size. And we give those away a couple times a year around the holidays, beginning of summer, and like if we have more towards the end of summer, we will have like 70 or 80 little kid bikes. We put them all out in our parking lot in our shipping container in Braddock, and a child comes with an adult and we kind of connect them to a bicycle that they like. We also do adult bikes. We take bike donations, we repair them, and we get them what we call mechanic ready. Ours are ready to ride, so you can get a bike from us and go onto a trail or, you know, street riding or whatever that day.
Well, basically in the bike community, in bike races like the Giro d'Italia or the Tour de France, whoever came in last place got the Red Lantern prize. Comes from the Red Lantern on all trains, the caboose would have a Red Lantern on it. And so that's kind of where the name came from.
It's to honor the person that didn't give up, and you know, because you can quit the race and just not do anything, but this was honoring the person who just kept at it, knowing that they were coming in absolutely last.
I volunteered at a few other bike shops, one in Pittsburgh, and then there's also another one, a couple others around the country. I was actually volunteering at a place called Free Ride, actually over in the Construction Junction building, and they used to do, like, they classically don't really do much with kids' bikes. We used to get so many little kid bikes there that we just couldn't get rid of them fast enough. So we kind of sprouted out from there with these kid bikes that we couldn't give away fast enough. We met up with John Fetterman in Braddock originally, and his wife Giselle, and they supplied us with a shipping container, and we started giving out kids bikes. And then we were also repairing bikes on Saturdays. That's probably about 10 years ago.
2013.
Since then, we've actually we started moving into a church in Turtle Creek, where there's a thrift store present, and that's been around since the 70s, and we've kind of combined forces with them. I mean, a lot of people had a thing when they were kids where like, oh, I remember riding my bike and riding everywhere and be able to go somewhere quicker than you could if you walked, or, you know, you have to bother if someone parent for a ride or anything, and you have the freedom to go and hang out with friends. Beyond that, there's also a matter of like with people, there's a transportation issue. As in, imagine, it's not just like having a bicycle for transportation, but like, you know, possibly like comboing a bicycle with the bus now. So like, hey, will you buy a bike from us in Turtle Creek? Hey, now you can hop that bike and throw it on a bus. You can go downtown, you can go across town. And that kind of expands out where people can do for life, for jobs, for things like that. We get piles and piles of bicycles, which is a good problem to have. And the problem is we chronically have always had a storage problem. We went from a shipping container in Braddock, which we still have, which is full of bicycles. And now we are in a church over in Turtle Creek, and we just pile up bikes and pile up bicycles, and they get all tangled up like a big bowl of spaghetti. And then we try to fix them, so we have to untangle them and move them around, and so it takes a lot of manpower actually.
Bikes, I mean, at this point, like bikes that we've touched, whether it's little kid bikes that we've given away or adult bikes that we've repaired, well over 10,000 bicycles, which is a lot for a small volunteer team. People hear about us.
People clean out their garages.
Yeah.
Kid moves away, the bike sits around for 3 years, it comes to us. People get a new bike, their old bike comes to us.
Yeah, and I mean, I think most bikes that come from private homes are not in that much disarray. Then we've also had bikes like from police departments that they've picked up, you know, bicycles from like that have been abandoned.
Yeah.
And, oh, we have 20 bikes, do you want these? So they've come from all over the place. I mean, I'd love to expand in a way that, you know, we could hire, I mean, we have this dream of, so like bicycles are, you know, freedom and their transportation, you know, like we did one summer with a teen program called Braddock Youth Project, where we trained a couple youth members who were in their teenage years on how to repair bikes. But we would love to expand that into a bigger program where, you know, like, so anyone who needs like a new tire or something like that, they could take their bike over to us, and that just helps us financially. You know, we don't have a lot of like foundation help or anything like that. We're really doing this out of like sheer will. Like you hear on the news all the time, like our area, like Turtle Creek, Braddock, and just the Mon Valley in general, just like suffers from a lot of violence, and you know, like, and you always hear like, oh, teens have nowhere to go and nothing to do, and we feel like this is such a opportunity to kind of connect those things and be a safe place where teens know that they can kind of drop in and like do something with their time.
All right, Red Letter isn't able to join us in person tonight, but Maria and Brian are watching from home. So I'd like to welcome up Dale Biza of TCDC, who will accept the award on their behalf. Dale.
Just want to give a quick word out here, a quick shout out to Brian and Maria. Thank you so much. You know, along with the bike shop, Brian and Maria, they want to be good community stewards. The church building that they've moved into and hopefully are purchasing had closed and probably would have deteriorated, as we know many do throughout the area. But instead, it's now a community asset. It's a space they want to host different nonprofits, community events, and they've even had some health fairs there. The Opportunity Shop, which is a thrift shop, was there. It continues to be there because they have taken on this building. So we love the bike shop, but we also love the community spirit that Brian and Maria have brought to our town of Turtle Creek. Thank you so much, Brian and Maria.
Now, I have the honor to present the awards that were nominated at large on behalf of the Mon Valley region. Our first award is presented to Devon Ford of the Braddock Water Authority, whom we'll learn more about on the video.
My name is Devon Michelle Ford Rogers, and I work at the Braddock Water Authority. So during the pandemic, there was what they call a moratorium, where you could not shut off people's water. And people weren't working, they were at home. So if you haven't been paying your bills, then you have a backup of bills. There had never been, ever, any kind of programs that help you pay water. But just at that time, they came up with a program that came from the money from COVID called the Low Income Housing Water Authority. So this is their website. This is the Low Income Housing Water Assistance Program. And the thing that was different about this program, one, it is low income. But the goal of this program was to help people to pay for their water and their sewer. So also different about it is that you could get up to $2,500 for your water and your sewer. So you had to act fast. So the first thing we did before it ever started, the program started January 4th, is we began to put it in their water bills. This program is coming. If you are in danger of being cut off, if you have arrearages, or if your water is already off, we can get your water back on through this program. Because that's a significant amount of money, $2,500 for both water and sewer. So that's up to $5,000. That will definitely get you back on track or get things started. This is COVID money, so it's temporary, like I said, so that's the part that's not good about it. So when I came back to the Water Authority, you know, after being working from home at first and then being laid off, I really was looking for something to help people because people were struggling at that time. And I had said to someone, and I had prayed to God, I said, I want to do something to help people if it's nothing but handing out apples, just something to help. And this came along and I felt like it was God sent. But then there's certain barriers because of COVID. You know, so the first barriers is, you know, a lot of the offices are limited, aren't open anymore, or you can't even walk into them because of COVID, especially when you're first coming back. So then I began to investigate the Compass website. And the Compass website, it can be cumbersome to apply. They do have an app. Anybody who's ever applied for LIHEAP or anything on the Compass website know to kick you out. If you don't have your passwords and stuff, it's hard to kind of follow along with. And then I thought about, well, maybe I could help them. We have a very, much older community here, and I'm thinking they're not going to apply for this money, and it's limited. Then I began to call and question them and see, and I saw that you could become what they call a community partner. There's a training that you can do online. So I did the training all about the website, and I asked my manager, Lori Rue, I said, can we do this? Can we become? And then I asked them, I said, is it okay for us to become a partner so we can help them do these applications? So everything went well. We did the application, we did the training, and the people there was like, great, you're going to do that. So then after we did that, we began to be able to do the applications over the phone. So what I have to do is simply ask them for permission to access their information, and we begin to process it and begin to pull in this money for the people, our residents. We have gathered both water and sewer over $100,000 to get people back on their feet and get their water back on. If you already were behind, then you're trying to play catch up once the moratorium and you weren't paying. I like the people I work with. I like my manager, Miss Lisa. I like, it's a very small water authority, so Mr. James, I like the people I work with, and I like the people in Braddock, so that's what I like about working here. So basically, we did our own media push. Because it's a quick program, a fast program, it's not like something that's been around, it's something that hasn't ever been before, a program to help you with your water and your sewer. I like to thank my manager, Lori Rue. She was very helpful and very supportive. These programs can really make a difference. So I hope that someone sees it and can push that has the power of government to make LIHWAP permanent. That would really be good because LIHEAP, that helps you with your heating bills is a permanent program. And this was needed and is still needed. And I'm sorrowful that it's going to be ending, but I'm glad that I got the money that I could while it was there, and I'll be working at it, trudging away at it until it closes. From the time that I was a youth, my mother always was very community oriented. We were always picking people up to take them on rides, to get votes, taking the senior citizens to vote, handing out balloons to the senior citizens on Valentine's Day. She orchestrated camps for kids to go to. So community service is just like all a part of it. I've done AmeriCorps twice. I've been an AmeriCorps member twice. So I've always been like a very community-oriented person, helping out the community. And that's what I would like to continue to do, is like to be able to do things to help in the community, because one person can truly make a difference. You don't realize it until that time that they do. I'd like to give a shout out to my kids, to Michelle Rogers, to Joy Rogers, and to Victor Rogers.
So Devon Ford of the Braddock Water Authority, please come on up. Congratulations. Our next Community Partner Award winner, nominated by members of the community, is Brian Gorman of Southwestern Pennsylvania Legal Aid.
Brian Gorman, Director of Southwestern Pennsylvania Legal Aid. We're a regional civil legal aid. In other words, we do civil legal services as opposed to criminal defense, and we serve Washington, Greene, Fayette, and Somerset counties. Often representation in court, legal advice and advocacy on a range of civil matters. Our four areas of civil matters are domestic and sexual violence, families, which is primarily parent representation, housing matters, such as tenants, mobile home residents, and those who might be facing foreclosure, and a range of economic issues, which could be disability, unemployment, taxpayers, those who are seeking, and this is where our work with Mon Valley Initiative often comes in, those who are seeking to remove employment barriers such as past criminal records. 1 in 3 Americans has been arrested for a misdemeanor or a felony in their lifetime. So with that number of criminal arrests in America, which obviously includes Pennsylvania and southwestern Pennsylvania, that means that a lot of people who are applying for employment or who are employed have a criminal arrest on their record. And if you have a criminal arrest on your record, it doesn't go away until and unless it's expunged. And a criminal conviction doesn't go away unless it's sealed or pardoned. So the criminal records and the types of criminal records can be significant barriers to employment. As we know, America has suffered a terrible drug epidemic over the past couple of decades, and that has caused quite a bit of the criminal records proliferation. And people who are now clean from that past still bear the scars of their past drug or alcohol dependence, which shows up as a criminal record. So we help many of those people and other people that have nonviolent criminal records in their past, remove them where they are legally eligible to try to open up employment avenues for them. It's been 4 or 5 years we've been connected with Jane and the Mon Valley Initiative. It's been a great partnership. Well, for us, we're looking for clients to help get expungements, sealing, or pardoning of records. So people who have our clientele readily available to refer to us and are willing and able to make those referrals to us and communicate with us about those referrals, like Jane. She would be a prominent example and an important partner. So other people, like they might not be as prolific as Jane, but other people who are like Jane in Mon Valley Initiative. If you are charged with a crime or arrested, even if it doesn't result in a conviction, it remains on your record until and unless it's expunged. We have a number of success stories. I had a veteran who dealt with PTSD and the effects of it upon coming home from the Gulf War, and he was also, by the way, a parent, had a family, and so obviously work took on an increased level of importance for him. Got about 3 cases filed against him, and they were misdemeanors, and they were several years ago. His criminal record was able to either be expunged or sealed in its entirety. So he was able to have, at least in Pennsylvania, when you look at sealing, no criminal record showing after we were able to help him get those petitions filed. And that really changed his record, and we were able to reestablish him as his record being one as a military war veteran and not as somebody who also had a more recent criminal record. We are part of a statewide pardon project, and we have a pardon project in Washington County. Hopefully that will be expanding to other counties. It's just that it is rolling out county by county. So we are looking for volunteer pardon coaches. You don't have to be a lawyer. You can volunteer to help people complete and accurately submit their pardon applications. Or if you know somebody who might be eligible for a pardon, refer them to us at Southwestern Pennsylvania Legal Aid to screen them. We have a pardon project coordinator by the name of Kyle Duff who will try to match them with a volunteer coach. I'd like to thank the Mon Valley Initiative for the work that you do. It's evident in our partnership. I'd like to thank particularly Jane Black, who works tirelessly for her clients to try to help them get work and remove any barriers from employment to increase their employment opportunities. And I'd also like to thank everybody involved in workforce development in Southwestern Pennsylvania. It really is a team, and we're the legal services end, but there's a huge network of social services and private partners, and that is just extremely important, both individually and for the community.
I mean, that's pure decency, watching that, because, we live in a time when you're almost being penalized for any contact with the criminal justice system. It's become a very potent political issue, as we know, especially in the senatorial race, Pennsylvania. The idea that redemption or expunging records and stuff like that is somehow pro-crime. It just makes your skin crawl. And to see what Brian Gorman and Southwestern Pennsylvania Legal Aid doing is truly renews your confidence and faith in the human condition. So thank you. Mon Valley Initiative is pleased to present the next Community Partner Award to La Rosa Youth Development Foundation of McKeesport.
Hi, I'm Jim Berry III, and I am the director here at the La Rosa Youth Club.
And my name is Amber. I'm the assistant director at La Rosa Youth Club.
The La Rosa Youth Club is a youth-serving entity in the city of McKeesport. What we do here is after-school programs, summer camps, sports leagues, tutoring, STEM, all kinds of extracurricular activities that some of our youth don't get to participate in otherwise. We check the kids in, make sure everyone's accounted for, and then get to their areas, whether it be homework and tutoring, gym activities, arts and music, STEM, game room. Miss Amber serves hot meals every day. This is going to be our first full year in existence. It started off, a little bumpy, but we're thriving right now. We're doing really well. We have a loving, caring staff. We have a ton of kids and support and some community support. Things are just we're very, very blessed to be in a position to help the community. La Rosa building has been here since 45. And it's a place that Sam La Rosa built, and it was very special. For so many years, it's been a staple in being a safe place and a place for kids to grow up and be taken care of and be an extension for the community to come for support for all these years. The Boys and Girls Club decided during the pandemic Boys and Girls Club of America decided to close our site, and as well as a couple others throughout Western PA. And it was a sad day here, but we felt the existing staff and some board members decided that this needed to be here. This was such an important aspect of our community, and it needed to be saved and it needed to be reopened. So the La Rosa Youth Club was born. Here we are today, and I'm so grateful that those people and us chose to go that route.
When they took the program away from us, it kind of broke my heart because there were so many kids that don't have any place to go but to come here. Also, too, my daughter's been coming here since she was 5, so I saw how hurt she was the day that they started changing locks and shutting us down. So I just felt like somebody had to speak up for the kids. We teach the kids, but sometimes I feel like they teach me. They keep me young. Like, they keep me wanting to come because I feel like a lot of kids don't have people to talk to at home. So they come here looking for help or looking for somebody just to listen. I've also saw a lot of progress through a lot of our kids, from like kids coming here with all types of attitudes and have really changed their lives around. Just seeing the kids every day, especially in black neighborhood, predominantly black urban neighborhoods, there's not a lot of after-school programs anymore. Allowing the kids actually have somewhere they can go to that doesn't keep them on the streets getting into trouble is a good thing. So we ran a summer program for 10 weeks. We took the kids on field trips every week. We had STEM programs. They got hot meals every day. It was a program that ran from pretty much 7 to 5, and they had somewhere to go. They hang out. Like, a lot of kids don't really go on vacations and stuff, so it was nice to have a place for them to have fun, be a kid. I think that's what's most important, is a place for the kids to be a kid.
So we have around 70 kids a day right now, but once football and cheerleading ends, typically our numbers go up. But being at 70 kids, and that's from 5 to 18, that's including our older kids, our teens, that's a lot of kids from this community. I think it's very special that people, the kids choose, especially the teenagers, they choose to come here. It's not a parent that's enrolling them. They're choosing to come here and be here every day and be a part of what we do. That's something that makes me feel good. It makes me feel like we're on the right path. We're doing the right thing for them. Trying to be there to be another support system when they're not in school and they're not at home. There's been so many influential people in getting this settled and getting us back open here in the community. Jim Berry Jr. Was instrumental in starting the paperwork. Mayor Mike Sherepko, Austin Davis, Senator Brewster, all those people pulled together to really, Tom McGlicko, Dan Doherty, the Michaels brothers, which are La Rosa's grandchildren. Basically, every one of those people were instrumental, along with Miss Amber and myself, to get this rolling. It took everyone. It was a total team effort to get to where we are today.
But not just them, also the community too.
Yes.
The community wanted us back open as well. The support from them was awesome.
This is one of those stories where
where it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up, and they got back up. So we're so grateful.
Okay. We turn to our next community partner award from North, did I say Versailles? Isn't it Versailles? It's North Versailles. I think you people were wrong. All right. From North Versailles Township. That's what it says, I guess. No, no hero left behind. No.
My name is Eric Howes, and I represent No Hero Left Behind. No Hero Left Behind is a military service organization founded in 2018 by myself, Eric Howes, as well as my wife, Christina Flewellen Howes. We are both veterans and have served in the Army, and this is our chance to be able to give back to those veterans who are homeless and those who are in need. We aim to increase veterans' mental health, their self-value, residential stability, and VA benefit accessibility. The problems that we're looking to prevent are two-folded. One side is the homelessness issue, in which there are different levels of homelessness. A veteran can be sleeping from couch to couch or from family member house to family member house. It's not necessarily always under the bridge, so we really try to reach out to find out what level they are on. There's many risks for homelessness of veterans. It can be medical factors. It can be a dispute between those veterans, between the couples, and one is forced to leave the home. There's also unemployment, where a veteran may not be able to take care of their rent or the utilities, for that. When it comes to that unemployment, we want to find different opportunities for veterans to be able to be compensated, if not through their talents, through starting their own business, or providing them with job opportunities through vocational rehab provided by the VA, as well as CareerLink. Then the other side of our advocacy is veteran suicide prevention. A veteran can go to war and come back home, and people only look at that veteran as the one that has had to go through a traumatic issue. However, the family is also feeling that, as well. So what we aim to do is when those veterans return home, we want to be able to bring them back together, bring those families back together, bring those couples back together, so that we can ultimately keep our veterans knowing that there is a better chance at life. One of the things that we offer here is creative wellness retreats for veterans, where veterans are able to come in, do a cooking class, be able to relax in the sauna, be able to do a paint workshop, also enjoy breakfast, dinner, and do basically different team building activities to be able to build that rapport again. When I came home from overseas, when I was honorably discharged from the Army, I had went through homelessness because of another factor, which is lack of resources, or the lack of knowledge for those resources. So there were many different programs that were already available to veterans. However, many times those programs don't have the capacity to be able to go and reach out in a grassroots situation to be able to talk to homeless veterans and say, hey, this is what's going on, this is who we are, and this is how we can help. We became that middleman. Because what helped me was a lot of the different programs and resources that were already available. Once I became knowledgeable of those, then I was able to take advantage of them. And once I seen that those programs work, I was able to share that with other veterans to be able to help them to not fall through the same cracks in life that I did. What we also try to do is be able to put veterans in groups We do peer support for veterans, where we provide meals, allow veterans to be able to talk about their different challenges and situations, and more than likely there's another veteran who's going through that as well. So some of our biggest supporters to date have been Duquesne Light, also Pennsylvania Star Wars Collecting Society. I wanted to also include Neighborhood Allies has been a big support, as well as the Military Veterans Motorcycle Club. So, you know, to date, those have been some of our biggest supporters. Also Noblemen's Lounge in Penn Hills. You know, it's not really a fight to get support. You know, it's really like, you know, a lot of these people just believe, you know, in me, you know, and my wife. And to know that we've been able to take our misery and turn that into a ministry speaks volumes. You know, best is a collaborative effort, you know, but it takes a lot more people to, you know, believe in us and what we're doing. And that's why I thank you all for the recognition to shed light on what we do and how we're looking to, you know, basically provide a better chance for our veterans who are homeless, disconnected, and underserved.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your service and for this amazing program. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone.
That's very impressive. And North for sales. Right? I'll keep practicing. All right. Last, but certainly not least, we are pleased to honor Michelle Trovato of Rankin Christian Center with a Community Partner Award. Michelle was nominated by a resident of the community.
My name is Michelle Trovato. I work at the Rankin Christian Center in Rankin, Pennsylvania. I am the Senior Program Director. The Senior Program offers socialization, recreation, parties and events, healthcare, computer classes, arts and crafts, information and referral. I think the resources they need to find out, they do come to the Rankin Christian Center, and we provide all of that for them. They come from the Mon Valley. They come from Homestead also, Duquesne, Whitaker. They come from Braddock, Rankin, North Braddock. My daily participation is 25 to 35 people. I think they enjoy being here. I think it's the activities. I originally came here with another agency who ran the program for about 1.5 years. They had a contract with Rankin Christian Center. They decided to drop the contract with Rankin Christian Center, and Rankin Christian Center hired me on a part-time basis around 2014.
She does the work of a full-time employee, but she's part-time. So, you know, she works 3 days a week, but she fits so much into those 3 days that it's like she's here full-time. She provides lunch every day to the seniors, as well as she does monthly luncheons as well, which she gets over like 100 people at.
It's very important. It provides a lot of services to the people of the community. People depend on the Rankin Christian Center. They have the after-school program. We have a food bank. We have a daycare. We have Mon Valley, who take care of the mentally challenged, both through adults.
I think about 20 years ago is when we developed the senior program. We kind of reacted. The Rankin Christian Center reacts to the community. It's changed throughout the years. In the beginning, you know, we were a place where people came and stayed. Immigrants came and stayed here. They taught them English so they can work in the mills. And as that as the years went on and the community changed, so did we.
People in the area now need all the information to help them with the different programs that are out there, because it is a poverty-stricken area. People need to know about a food bank. They need to know about health insurance. They need to know about housing. So we try to provide all that information for them.
Michelle is very humble. You know, she doesn't like to have the spotlight on her at all. She comes with, you know, fresh ideas. You know, people call her all the time. She welcomes everybody to come in. Some of our seniors that go to her program are from our ID autism program, and they've welcomed them into the program. It's like they're just like everybody else, and that's all our folks want. They just want to be treated like everybody else, and Michelle does that.
All different personalities, and we have days that they start picking on one another, but that's normal. So we kind of just say, you know, that's enough.
She has a really good relationship with all the seniors. I guess our census has increased since after the pandemic, so we're very happy about that. And we know the draw has to be I guess the different activities that Michelle offers, as well as lunch every day. During the pandemic, Michelle actually delivered lunches 3 days a week to the seniors in the area. So, you know, we took the van, we had someone drive the van, and she got in and out of that van at everybody's house and went and spoke to them for a few minutes and gave them their lunch, and then also gave them some activities to do. And it provided that, you know, that person-to-person the conversation that everybody missed during the pandemic. She thought of the idea of our Ask a Nurse program, and that's a woman who used to come in and talk to the seniors about different aspects of, you know, their medical. And so we contracted with her to call our seniors and see how they're doing. So she does that on a monthly basis.
My program, I do start at 60 plus. Everybody is welcome. My seniors are very welcoming to new people. They make them feel comfortable. They make them feel at home. And I encourage anybody 60 plus, if they're not working or babysitting, please come.
There's not much in the area. I think a lot of senior programs have closed, you know, due to funding over the years. So it's something that we provide. A lot of our seniors walk here. You know, a lot of our seniors are caring for their grandchildren. So it's a nice break in their day to come over here and just be with other folks their own age and things they can talk about, that they know each other, and, you know, things they have in common.
I'd like to thank our executive director, Darlene McGregor. She's been very helpful. Our human resources, Paula Plottisnack. I can go to them anytime, ask them any questions. If I need anything, they're there to help me.
I'd just like to thank Michelle for her hard work, and we really appreciate everything she does here. She's a valued employee.
There she is.
The most impressive thing about an evening like this is that when you see an organization like MVI just inspire a conspiracy of love and humanity and brotherhood, and just going into the community like this, these deep dives, you know, at various levels, and sort of helping, you know, bringing recognition to those organizations that are really doing all of the work on the ground, and coming together, I guess, annually to recognize that's something that is deeply inspiring. I do a column for Next Pittsburgh in which I try to find stories just like this. And so I'm going to take all my literature home tonight. Because I have an idea who some of the personalities are now. And I have an idea of the things that need to be, spotlighted. And I know that there are things happening here that weren't even in the various videos or in the presentation. And I just have this feeling that this is a community that really cares and continues to defy stereotypes. And I am deeply, deeply honored to be a part of this tonight, because I learned a whole lot, and it's made an indelible impression on me. So, that concludes the award portion of tonight's ceremony. Jane Flaherty, Secretary of the MVI Board, has a few final thoughts, but before she speaks, I want to tell you again how grateful I am to be here tonight. I'm so redundant. It's also been wonderful to hear about so many wonderful projects coming on in the Mon Valley communities. Going on in the, okay, yeah. And now, to close out tonight's awards presentation, please welcome to the microphone the Secretary of the MVI Board of Directors, Jane Flaherty.
Thank you so much for being our Master of Ceremony this evening. You have really been entertaining, and we've really enjoyed you, and I'm glad to have gotten to know you as well. So let's give Tony a big round of applause. This has really been a wonderful evening, and when I was reading the script, it says, what a wonderful evening. It's truly a pleasure to be back in person with so many of you tonight. And, as I was reading this, that was one thing, but when I actually got here this evening, and I know everybody wants to go home, and I don't want to go on, but when I got here this evening, I actually saw people face to face that I have not literally seen in the flesh for years. And it was so emotional. I was so happy to be with these people tonight. And so that gives you an idea of what kind of an organization this really is. And it's been such a wonderful evening, but before we do go home, we need to recognize some really important people tonight. First of all, Grant. Been running around here and has been the coordinator of this entire event, so he deserves a massive round of applause for his. Over here who's been diligently working the computer all day. He is the person who's responsible for the organization and the production of all of the wonderful videos we've seen. He's also making this possible so that people can view this program at home tonight. The people that could not be here or chose not to be here for whatever reason, he has made that available to them in the comfort of their own home. So he deserves a massive round of applause. But not least, I'm going to get emotional. Last but not least, I would like to have Laura Zinke and her entire staff please stand up. These people are the heart and soul of this organization, and I will tell you that you will never, ever find a more dedicated and hard-working group of people. And I can honestly speak for the entire board of directors when I say I could not be more proud or more privileged to work with such a staff. It's unbelievable. They're awesome. So, on behalf of the, now I'm back to the script. On
board of directors and for the staff. I'd like to thank you all for coming this evening and celebrating and making this the wonderful evening that it has been, recognizing the many people in the organizations that make this all possible. So thank you again for coming. I hope to see you all again next year in flesh, and have a safe journey home. Thank you.